is that I think in these next game or two, depending on how far Duke makes it, my take is that we're going to see Con Knippel prove himself a top 10 pick. I think that the offense is going to run through him, and I think we're going to be like, oh, okay, so that's what you've been hiding this whole season. That's what you're able to do. Because I thought he was so good in the last 15 minutes of that game today.
All right, so now Duke advances, and they play North Carolina again. We've seen this show a couple times. It did not go well for the Tar Heels. But now without Cooper Flagg, it's a little bit different. Carolina gets a big win today over Wake just to set up this game. This is a team that has been living on the bubble here, Carolina, for the last few weeks. And with a win over Duke tomorrow, albeit even without Cooper Flagg and Malik Brown, I still think it puts them on the right side of the bubble. I think this win, if they can get it, and with a little luck here, without having Cooper Flagg or Malik Brown, could put Hubert Davis back in the NCAA tournament, take a little bit of heat off him. What did you think of the Tar Heels today, Rob? And did they have a shot without Cooper Flagg and Malik Brown? I mean, I would think they certainly do.
I mean, good. But do you remember last night when we were talking about whether or not Duke is going to lose in this tournament? And I was like, someone needs to make sure that they give Cooper Flagg food poisoning. Well, I mean, he didn't get food poisoning, but he sprained his ankle. No, I
totally forgot about that. I forgot you said that, by the way.
Yeah, Doster hexed them.
Yeah, I also said I also said Georgia Tech has the best chance to be able to beat him in this tournament, and that looked pretty good for about 15 minutes there. No, I think that for North Carolina to win, like, you need RJ Davis to go nuts, and you need a really big game from Ian Jackson, and then you need those big guys inside, Van Allen Lubin and Jalen Withers, to play the way that they've been playing for the last month. And is it possible for all of those things to happen? Yes. But then at the same time, you also have to be able to get the stops. And my biggest concern is how they are going to defend Duke. Like, with or without Cooper Flagg, you are just so undermanned and so undersized that who do you put on Con Knippel? If you put like Drake Powell on him, then who do you have on Tyrese Proctor, who's 6'6"? Who are you going to go put on some of these other pieces? Like, they're an enormous basketball team across their backcourt and across the perimeter. And the thing about North Carolina is they're small. So is it possible? Sure. RJ Davis is capable of going for it. He had 23 on 9 shots tonight. He's capable of going absolutely nuclear, but he's going to have to do it for 40 minutes. And we saw him do it for 10 minutes in the Dean Dome last Saturday, but that only got them to within, I think, they lose by 13. So that's what we're dealing with right now between these two teams.
Well, let's think about it too. Malik Brown may be out this game. Malik Brown's the one that flipped that game in Chapel Hill.
Yep.
I mean, like in the second half. I mean, he was huge. In the first half, North Carolina had no problem when Malawach switched out on the perimeter and they were able to get downhill. So I'm curious how they guard that. Do they want to switch? Do they keep Malawach and drop? Do they show him? That's going to be a pretty fascinating storyline, I think, how they defend those guards in those ball screens, North Carolina guards.
So I have a question for you, Rob. If you're looking at it, put yourself in the position of a committee member for this. And if you are looking at this win and Carolina does win this game without Cooper Flagg and Malik Brown, without arguably the national player of the year in this game, how much credit are you giving North Carolina for this win? Are you giving them like full credit for beating Duke? Or are you just saying like, all right, this is a good, another, because it's going to be a quad one win, but it's not really, is it really a quad one win?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I don't think that. I don't think that is a slippery slope when you start going into. Well, we got to evaluate who was actually on the other team, because then what are you going to do next? Like, oh well, this team. Yeah, that's fine, but like, I don't think that to me that should not come into the decision making of the selection committee when it comes to who they put in the NCAA tournament, who was on the other team. It just, to me, that's too much of a slippery slope. It's got to be about what the team can control, right? And what North Carolina can control is what they do and whether or not they go out there and play that game and they win. And if they win, then I think that they get absolutely full credit. Like, how do you even give them partial credit? Like, do you just give them, instead of saying it's a quad 1, you just say, yeah, but they didn't have Cooper Flagg, so it's a quad 2. Like, how do you even give partial credit?
Well, I asked you.
Like I said, it's a damn good team, even without Cooper Flagg and Malik Brown.
It is.
That's a really damn good team.
But they haven't played without Cooper Flagg all year, and they're going to do that tomorrow for the first time and have to adjust their entire game plan on the fly, which is not easy.
Don't you think? But don't you think that Duke gets a little bit like re-energized? I'm not like they are on high alert that they don't want to drop this game because they know that North Carolina feels like they're vulnerable right now.